Hi everyone. If your floors look clean in photos, but still feel gritty under bare feet, this is the kind of robot that makes you question how clean your home really was before. Today, I'm talking about the roborock Saros 10R, and I'm going to keep this grounded in real day-to-day use. Pets, rugs, hard floors, hair, dust, muddy footprints, thresholds, and all the little things that usually make robot vacuums struggle. In my home, the biggest thing I noticed first was not some flashy feature. It was the feeling of the floors. After several days of running the Saros 10R, the floor didn't just look better in the light, it actually felt cleaner underfoot. On hard surfaces like sealed concrete, hardwood, tile, and LVP-style flooring, it does a very strong job of keeping the surface consistently clean, without me needing to drag out a vacuum and mop every day. The vacuuming performance is especially impressive if you deal with hair. Long human hair, pet hair, and everyday dust are usually where robot vacuums start to show their weaknesses. With the Saros 10R, the brush design is one of the standout parts of the experience. I did not see the same kind of hair wrapping and roller tangling that I've had with older robot vacuums. In a busy home with pets, that matters a lot, because a robot vacuum is only convenient if you are not constantly flipping it over and cutting hair out of the rollers. For pet households, this robot can feel like a major lifestyle upgrade. If you have dogs and cats shedding every day, dirt coming in from outside, litter near boxes, or even ash and little wood chips near a stove, the Saros 10R can take a huge amount of that daily floor maintenance off your plate. I would still not call it magic. If muddy paws come through, one pass may not make the floor perfect. But after a second cleaning, the results can be excellent, and for normal daily upkeep, it keeps the house looking and feeling much more controlled. The mopping is better than I expected. I was skeptical about whether a robot mop could do more than just lightly wet the floor, but the spinning mop pads actually scrub well enough for regular maintenance. On wood floors, tile, bathrooms, laundry rooms, and other hard surfaces, it leaves the floor looking fresh. One of the mop pads can extend outward, which helps it get closer to walls and corners. That little detail makes the cleaning pattern feel more complete, especially along baseboards and around the edges of rooms. The dock is a big part of why this feels like a premium machine. It empties the robot's dustbin, handles mop washing, and dries the mop pads. The clean and dirty water tanks are easy to remove, fill, and empty. For me, this is the difference between a robot that is just another gadget and one that actually becomes part of the cleaning routine. I can run it often without feeling like I'm doing half the work myself. That said, the onboard dustbin is not huge. If you have a lot of pets or a large amount of debris, the auto-empty dock is basically essential. In a heavy shedding home, the robot can fill up quickly, and the dust bags in the dock may not last as long as they would in a lighter-use home. For some households, a bag might be fine for a while. For homes with multiple dogs and cats, replacing bags every few weeks may be realistic. I do wish there were a bagless cyclonic option, but the dock itself does its job well when maintained. Navigation is another major strength. The mapping is fast and accurate, and the robot is very good at finding its way around. It can divide the home into rooms or sections, and the app gives a lot of control over how you want it to clean. You can send it to specific rooms, adjust cleaning behavior, and set up routines. The app is powerful, but I will say some settings can take a little digging to find. For example, the voice volume can be loud out of the box, so it's worth spending time exploring the settings. Obstacle avoidance is also strong. The Saros 10R does a good job moving around furniture legs, tables, chairs, beds, and other common obstacles without constantly banging into things. It gets close enough to clean around them, but it doesn't feel clumsy. This is one of those things you appreciate more over time, because a robot that gets stuck every run becomes annoying fast. With the Saros 10R, I would feel much more comfortable letting it run on a schedule. Still, I would not treat it as completely foolproof. Socks, clothing, cords, and pet accidents are things I would still check for before starting a cleaning cycle. It can avoid many obstacles, but I wouldn't rely on any robot to handle every messy surprise perfectly. If you have an older pet that sometimes has accidents, I would be extra cautious and inspect the area before letting it vacuum and mop. Rug handling is generally good, especially with lower and medium pile rugs. It recognizes rugs and avoids mopping them, which is important if you have light-colored runners or area rugs. I did not see it soaking rugs by mistake. On most rugs, the vacuuming is solid, but very thick shag or fluffy bath mats can still be challenging. It may bump the edge, struggle to climb, or get caught up depending on the material and pile. For those areas, you may need to create zones or lift the mats before cleaning. The lifting and threshold handling are impressive. It can move over some taller thresholds and low furniture barriers better than older robots. In a multi-level home, it can also be moved to another floor and mapped separately. For vacuuming a second level, that works well. For mopping another floor, you may want the base nearby to get the best experience, especially if you use frequent mop washing. The robot is also surprisingly quiet. Compared with older robot vacuums, it is much less disruptive. While vacuuming, it is noticeable but not harsh, and while mopping, it can be very quiet. If you have pets that are nervous around loud machines, this quieter operation makes a real difference. It feels more like background activity than a machine taking over the house. There are a few small things I would improve. First, I wish cleaning solution was included, even a small trial bottle. When you buy a premium vacuum and mop robot, it feels odd not to have everything needed for mopping right in the box. Second, I wish the app allowed you to directly choose mop direction, especially for wood or laminate plank floors. You can work around it by dividing rooms into long sections, but a simple direction setting would be better. Third, the charging contacts can be sensitive to dirt, so if you get a charging error, cleaning the contacts is one of the first things to check. And finally, charging can feel slow if you are trying to clean a large home multiple times a day. My practical advice is simple. Pick up cords, socks, and small clothing items. Vacuum litter areas before mopping so litter does not turn muddy. Keep extra mop pads on hand if you mop often, and take time to customize the app. The Saros 10R performs best when you set it up around the way your home actually works. Overall, the roborock Saros 10R is one of those products that can genuinely reduce daily cleaning stress, especially in homes with hard floors, pets, hair, and constant dust. It's not perfect, and it still needs basic maintenance and a little common sense, but the vacuuming, mopping, mapping, obstacle avoidance, quiet operation, and self-maintaining dock make it feel like a serious upgrade over older robot vacuums. If you want a robot that can help keep your floors consistently clean with much less effort, this is a very strong option. If you have very thick rugs, frequent pet accidents, or you dislike replacing dust bags, those are things to consider. But for everyday floor maintenance, I think it delivers a genuinely premium experience. If you have any questions about this product, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.